All right, well, we are standing outside of Samuel Drive Apartments in April 2023. My name is Chris Lopez, got Lon Welsh, we're with Ironton Capital, and Terrance Doyle with VareCo here. Took down this project in October, November 2022?
Early November maybe.
Yeah, so took it down, classic value add, multi-family play. This is our second property walk. We've got about 20 investors with us. Terrance and his crew have been doing a bunch of updates. Buildings look brand new, so we're gonna get a quick update here, do a tour, and just do a bunch of Q&A.
Yeah.
So Terrance, tell us what's been going on.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of heavy lifting. I think, we closed sometime in November, and then it took us basically 2.5 months to get the building cleared, right? If you remember, this was owned by a legacy owner that had owned it for 30 or 40 years, didn't really have a rent roll. Everybody was month to month, wasn't collecting rent every month. That kind of situation. And so it was really difficult to get everybody understanding that, this is how we're gonna run the property now. You have to be on a lease, you have to pay rent, and you need to abide by the law. And so obviously when a building doesn't have any rules, putting in rules is rather difficult. And so it took us some time to do that. We were able to transition everyone out by probably mid-January and really start swinging hammers by the end of January. And so, January, February, March, and then April, we've been, heavy at work. Trying to do the exterior, which weather's still trying to get it to cooperate, but exterior, and we basically finished all the interiors. There's some touch-up things we still need to do with the railings and some of the walkways, the breezeways, but all in all, I think we're pretty much done here. We'll be done in the next 7-10 days with punch list in this building. I believe we actually just signed our first lease maybe earlier today.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so we just signed our first lease, but leasing will be in full effect in May. And our goal is to have this fully leased by the end of June. So by June 30th, we think we'll be able to have 17 leases signed to fill this building. And then, we'll move on to leasing up the next building. So, we think we're really close. And, there'll still be some punch list items and things that everyone will notice. But all in all, feel really pleased. And basically just cookie cutter here. We do an accent wall, we do LVP flooring, same kind of paint everywhere. We do can lights, and then light fixtures in the bedrooms and bathrooms. But yeah, pretty standard white appliances for this location is what's needed. And we feel really good about where we're at. We're on track to be under budget. We're gonna spend some money on the lot, the vacant lot, and then the parking lot. So we wanna make that kind of an amenity out there, and we have some plans for that. But we'll probably look to do that July and August once we get done with the other building. So yeah, we feel really good about where we're at. And obviously it's had its challenges, but we think we're in a good place.
Where were you at for rents before, and where do you think you'll be at for rents after?
Yeah, the rents before averaging, it was hard to tell. We were probably somewhere there. It was probably somewhere at $750 if they were paying.
If they were paying.
Yeah, $750 a month. And our target blended is going to be $1,350. And so we think we're going to be able to beat that, hit that or beat that. Obviously, in this local market, there's very little that's affordable, safe, and clean. And so that's why we like this submarket, is that there's virtually no product that's like C+ or B that is renovated. Most of the stuff is either you have a legacy owner that doesn't touch it, kind of like next door still, which we're trying to buy, or you have Class A or something much newer that's $400 or $500 more expensive. So there's not a lot in kind of the premium workforce space that we like to call it, that's clean, safe, and affordable. So we feel really good about the $1,350 to $1,400 range, which basically doubles the previous owner's NOI. So yeah, we feel really good about where we're at. So hopefully by October-ish, before we head into the winter, this will be fully stabilized, and we'll be in a position to either refi or sell.
How to go through renovation? Any surprises, or mostly as you expected, or?
Yeah, there's always surprises on a building like this that has a significant amount of deferred CapEx and maintenance. And so I think we found some things with plumbing that we weren't expecting. The boiler, we spent a lot of time and energy on the boiler. Our maintenance director actually is like maybe one of the best boiler technicians in the city. So we were able to save a significant amount of money doing that ourselves, where, like a typical investor probably would have had to replace everything and spend, I don't know, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 running all new lines and a whole new boiler system. But yeah, thankfully that's kind of what, where we are able to step in and add a lot of value is, we've seen a lot of those things, and we have, the right people on our team to solve some of the unexpected problems that come up. But yeah, from electrical, plumbing, boiler, I think there's always unexpected items that come up in a building this age.
Sounds like it mostly went on plan, though. You didn't have to use a lot of contingency.
Yeah.
We're actually a little bit below budget right now. Last time I saw an update, it was like a lot below budget.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they'll continue at that pace. If we're lucky, I guess it will.
Yeah, we're trying to we're trying to be under on, everything by $50,000, $75,000. So we have money to do some of the other amenity things that we think will actually add a lot of value when we go to sell it, right? It'll make the pictures look really good. It'll make the walkthrough feel really good, or even on a lender walkthrough on a refi, right? If we were to refi, we'd go with Fannie or Freddie, be able to pull out some cash, get a lower interest rate, because it's the government, so we're able to get cheaper capital that way. So in all scenarios, I think the more that we can save on the exteriors and the interiors, we're gonna be able to put that money to good use for the amenities and the parking lot.
And one thing a lot of the viewers may not know is that Fannie and Freddie are still providing a lot of liquidity for multifamily, which is something that's not available for other sectors of commercial like office and retail. Would you talk about this a little bit?
It's a great point. Yeah, and you and I have invested in a lot of different asset classes, right? We own some office, we own some industrial. You own a lot more office than we do. But the beautiful thing about multifamily that most people don't really understand is that the backstop really is the government, right? A lot of close friends of mine are industrial, retail, or office. And right now it's extremely painful, right? Because refinancing or getting acquisition financing is almost non-existent, right? Because the big five, JP Morgan, US Bank, Wells Fargo, those banks don't do construction loans, right? That's why they're the big five. So you fall to regional and local banks. And as we know with SVB and all these things going on, those banks are extremely cautious right now and hawkish, right? They're not lending. I mean, First Bank has been one of the biggest lenders of real estate in Denver. They're not even lending. And so to anybody. And so I think that's a really good example of, multifamily, because of the mandate by the government for affordability, always is lending to keep the market affordable, right? So, and they lend through Fannie and Freddie, which are in receivership, right? So basically it means it's controlled by the government since 2008. And so they are always keeping the market liquid. And so what that means is, if a local bank would lend at 250 or 300 basis points over the 10-year, right? So 3% over the 10-year. So if the 10-year's at 3.5, they're gonna be at 7. Okay, so the government's at like 150 to 180 basis points over the 10-year. So significantly less lower interest rate, and you're gonna get more proceeds, and they offer a full-term interest-only package, right? And so that is what keeps the market liquid and what keeps people wanting to invest in apartments to keep the market affordable. And so that's one of the beautiful things about multifamily, which is why we're in it. And it's different than any other real estate asset class and really, really separates it.
And those loans tend to be assumable. So if we weren't able to sell this, we could refinance it, return capital to the investors, and then the next buyer from us could just inherit this great loan that we've already set up.
Yeah, well said. Yeah,
that's a lot of headaches for them.
Yeah. So I think that's that's a little bit about the project. That's kind of where we're at. We will be stabilized by the end of the year, and so we'll have that optionality of being able to either go get a refi or test the market on a sale. And basically the value of the building is going to be determined by the NOI, right? So how much rent we're going to get and the debt we're going to have, right? If someone's going to assume that Fannie or Freddie loan, they're going to say, what's my cash flow after debt service? And the beautiful thing is we will have, the most aggressive debt service out there with, the interest only program from Fannie or Freddie. So yeah, I feel really good about where we're at. Obviously the market is challenging. And so we're doing everything we can to keep the basis as low as possible and move as quickly as we can to get to cash flow positive.
We're doing great on the schedule, and the product looks wonderful. So nice job.
Oh, great.
The team has killed it.
Yeah, so I think our specialty and what you're talking about is, you've done workforce housing, right? And so what most people see is, people cutting corners to stay on budget. And I think what we've been able to do is figure out a way to do a premium quality finish, right? That's better than the competition and offered at the same or cheaper price. And so that's the value proposition to the market, which is why we're able to stay full and lease things up quickly and keep strong retention, right? Our renewal rates typically between 60 and 70% because of those things. Professionally managed, clean, safe, affordable, and the inside of it feels really good, much better than what you can get anywhere else for $1,350. Right? So the brand new countertops, backsplash, the accent wall, the light fixtures, how you walk in and it feels bright and brand new. Those are unique things in this price point at the price that we do things at.
Yep.
So that is kind of our business model and what we've been able to continue to improve over time.
It makes a special product, and I think it's easy to show and feel it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's like you said to me earlier this week. It's I'd rather just show you than tell you.
Right.
Yeah. So we can bring people and we'll show you versus sitting here me telling you about it. So. Yeah. So for 34 units, it's going to be scattered site. Okay, and so, we have properties all around town. We own some more single family up north here. And so we do have the economies of scale with maintenance and leasing. We'll always have someone in this region, but not necessarily someone living on site. But one of our maintenance guys will be living here and kind of be eyes on the ground. One of the things that most people don't realize when they're renovating and bringing an apartment from 100% vacant is that there is a lot of crime, right? And so you have to be careful of that. So we've, so the light fixtures, we try and make it very bright. We try and have security cameras, and then we try and have patrol. We hire security during the lease up. And so we are trying to be very vigilant and careful about that because that is an issue that we've had, on a lot of lease ups, right, around Denver with the current climate. So those are things that we're watching. But in this size of asset, you're not going to have on-site leasing or maintenance, but we will have it scattered with the other assets we own in the area. Yeah, so all the light fixtures are LED. We have low flow toilets. And basically everything we can do in terms of materials, exterior and interior, we've kind of gone through Fannie and Freddie's green program, and we try and filter that and do the same thing. Some things are more expensive, so we don't do it, but a lot of what we buy fits it, and you only have to hit like 20% green to qualify for that program. And so, and the two things are affordability and green, the energy efficient, and so we qualify for both of those basically on every asset, just because we fit inside of 60 to 80 AMI, 60, 80% of AMI in terms of the affordability, and then the energy efficient light fixtures, toilets, and things like that.
Does that take like 15 or 20 basis points off the interest rate on the loan then, or?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you get the most aggressive rate. So on a refi we're doing right now, we actually got 30 basis points.
30?
Wow. On that. It was a larger loan size, but so it depends on the proceeds. But yeah, you're somewhere between 20 and 30 right now on affordability and the green program.
It's not that hard to document, is it?
No, you just show them receipts and it's not very difficult to document.
Fabulous.
Yeah. But great question on that. Yeah, I mean, so cap rates have definitely expanded. What you see if, Colliers puts out a quarterly and a monthly report on things that have traded. And last quarter, the market was 4.7% cap, right? So we don't think this is gonna trade at a 4.7, but that was the average of everything that traded in Q1. And so what you see with Denver, a lot of loan assumptions and a lot of deals still getting done, significantly less than a year ago, but the market is still liquid because of the agency lending, because the ability to assume loans and get refinances done. So, I think that for an asset like this, like when we traded the other one, we were at 4.25, you're probably 100 basis points lighter, right, on that, depending on where we get debt at. So the cheaper we can get debt, I think the more we can push that, because that'll be their spread in terms of cash flow. But I think we'll be somewhere around, the brokers will probably go out at like a 5.25.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. So, but it's definitely expanded by probably 100 basis points, I think.